guys. I am Melinda and I am here to share what I'm reading right now. I'm trying to find a better place in my house to do these videos, so let's see how this one works this time. I'm sorry that my videos last week were so close up. We realized that's not good. We're learning. I'm apparently here with the cat. You want to say hi? This is Alice. She's not going to stay here very long, but she does want to be on camera. Anyway, this is what I'm reading right now, and I want to preface this with saying that I link this video. I set it to publish on Sunday, and then I link it with my weekly blog post. I am actually very close to finishing a lot of books, so it is possible that some of the books that I'll talk about here will be done and reviewed in my blog post on Sunday. So for the ones that I'm close to finishing, I'm also going to tell you what I'm going to be reading next. And then after that, I have a bookish dilemma, and I'm going to need your help. So please stay through what I'm currently reading and then help me with my little issue. So as for what I'm reading, I am on my first Agatha Christie of the year. This is the Seven Dials Mystery. It is the second in the Superintendent Battle series, and I was a little apprehensive because I didn't like The Secret of Chimneys, which was the first book in this little series. Also, I realized that it's called Superintendent Battle, but it's not Superintendent Battle. It's actually Bundle, who's a character who reminds me a lot of, if you watch the television show Father Brown. I haven't read the book, so I don't know if this character's in the books too. But if you watch the show Father Brown, there's a character named Bunty. And the character named Bundle is a lot like that character, or I should say it's probably the other way around. But anyway, this one's a lot of fun so far. I'm going through it pretty quickly, so hopefully I'll have this done in a couple days. But I can pretty much always depend on Christie when I need to have a book that's really comforting and kind of centers me. I am reading this after There's No Such Thing as an Easy Job, which was a good book, but it also required a lot of mental, a lot of mental energy on my part. So Christie's a good place to go after that. On my ebook that I have going right now is, let me make sure I get the title right, Death and Judgment, which is the fourth Comissario Brunetti novel in the series by Donna. Now, I have read the first two books in this series, and then I had to DNF the third one because the language it used was very dated. The book was written in the 90s, and the language it used regarding the LGBT community was probably appropriate for the 90s, but it was very hard for me to read in this was 2022 when I tried to read it. So I decided to just skip that one, which is fine. And I will tell you that I think that it hasn't changed anything. I didn't miss anything in that. So I've gone to the fourth one. I am enjoying this one. I think I kind of know what's going on. It's actually a pretty fast read, so I plan to be done with it pretty quickly. And once I finish that, I'm going to read The Calculating Stars, which is the first in the Lady Astronaut series by Robinette Kowal. I've not read this author before, although I am familiar with her. I used to listen to a podcast that she was frequently a guest on. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's science fiction, which can be a hard genre for me, but I think with a lot of the other things that are going on with it, I think I'm going to be okay. It was recommended to me through the MyTBR recommendation service through Book Riot, so we'll see how it goes. And then I also have another ebook going right now, which is I'm kind of mad at myself over this one, and it is Parnassus on Wheels by Christopher Morley. I am reading this as part of a read-along with the Book Cougars. We're going to be discussing this at the end of February. I bought a book that has this story and another story in it. I ordered a copy of this book, as well as a book for my son from bookshop.org, and I thought everything was great. What I didn't do was I didn't check the address it was going to, and so it sent it to the last address I had used, which means that my 1-year-old great niece currently has these books in her possession. So fortunately, I was able to find an ebook version of it from my library that I can read now, and then I will just go get those other books the next time I'm down in Salem and I see my family. That was not a smart move on my part. But anyway, so I also have that going. It's really short. It's more of a novella than a novel. So I'm reading it on my phone actually. And it's one to kind of pick up and put down really easily when I have time to do it. but I'm enjoying it so far. I just started it today, so I don't have a lot to say about it, but when I kind of looked at Goodreads and the people that I follow who've read it, they all seem to enjoy it. So I have high expectations for that. And then for my audiobook, I am still listening to The Light We Carry by Michelle Obama. I'm really enjoying this one. I kind of think of it as Michelle Obama 201, like Becoming was Michelle Obama 101, and this is Michelle Obama 201. It's somewhere between a memoir and a self-help book, but it's not really self-helpy. It doesn't feel self-helpy, although I've gotten a lot of nuggets from it, and I don't usually do well with self-help, so that's really good. But I am enjoying it quite a bit. I really adore Michelle Obama, so she can just tell me, just give me all of her wisdom. That's just what I want all of Michelle Obama's wisdom. But I am pretty close to finishing this. It is possible that I will finish it today. I'm not sure. But so my next audiobook that I am going to be listening to is The Wangs versus the World by Jade Chang. Now, I was actually planning to read this, but I picked up the book and I looked at it, and the print in the book is really small. And as I've said in other videos, I have some eye issues, and hello, Alice. I have some eye issues, and I could tell immediately that was not going to be something that worked. So I went again onto my library, and they had an audiobook version that was available. So I just downloaded that. So I'm going to have to do it by audio. And then as for my short story collection, I actually finished the Marble short story collection, and I'm going to do a little video review of that in a separate video because I do want to talk about it a little bit. But I will say that the next short story collection I'm going to start, which I probably won't start today, or maybe not tomorrow, but I will be starting in the next couple days, is The Beadworkers by, and I hope I pronounce her name correctly, Beth Piatote. She's a member of the Nez Perce tribe. So these are short stories. I don't know much about the book beyond that, but it was on the recommended table a while ago at Powell's, so I picked it up. I was really attracted by this really nice cover because this is Portland, Oregon in this cover. So I thought, oh, that's going to be fun. So yeah, this will be the next one that I read. I'm going to take a little break from the Christie short stories or Christie related short stories because in February I am going to go through the Deadly Affair short story collection. So I thought I would take a little break from Agatha Christie when it comes to short stories. And then I still have my year-long read, although I looked at my schedule and I realized I'll actually be finishing this in November. But it's Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. And my friend is reading it along with me, so that's fun. We tried to use the Fable app to kind of manage a read-along, but this book apparently isn't in their catalog, which I find really interesting because it's a pretty well-known book. So we weren't able to use that, but she has my schedule that I set up for it, so we are going to just sort of kind of follow along with that and see how it goes. She's still working on the Count of Monte Cristo, so we'll see how this works for a read-along. So that's what I'm currently reading, and now I have my bookish dilemma. So when it was announced that Prince Harry's memoir was coming out, I just happened to have a Libro credit that I immediately plopped down as a pre-order without thinking. And then I forgot about it because that was months ago. And then I realized shortly before it came out, when things started coming out about the book and Prince Harry started doing some publicity interviews about it, I kind of realized maybe I shouldn't read this book. But I wasn't able to cancel my pre-order. I'm sure there's a way on Libro to cancel a pre-order, but I don't know what it is. So now I have it. And my question to you is, should I read this book? Let me tell you a little bit where I am with the royal family and what I've heard about this book and what my concerns are. First of all, I, as you can probably tell from my accent, am an American. I don't care if Britain has a royal family or not. I have no views on the monarchy as far as should they or shouldn't they have it. I've heard arguments on both sides. They all make sense to me. I don't have a dog in this fight. So I'm not looking for anything that sort of validates or calls for the dismantling of the monarchy. That's not something I'm concerned about. However, I am a history person. My degree is in history. In fact, it's British medieval history. So I spend a lot of time studying the English monarchy. And I'm very interested, I guess you could call me a royal follower, not in the tabloid sense. Like, I don't really care about all the tabloid stuff. But I love the tradition and seeing how things have changed and seeing where things started and all of that. So when Queen Elizabeth died, which was very sad, don't get me wrong, it was sad, but I really enjoyed watching all the funeral and all the pomp and circumstance of what happens next, because I felt like I was seeing things that have been done for centuries or things that have evolved over centuries. So when I think about the royal family, I think of that. I recognize there are problems with things the royal family has done, like colonization. I do feel that the royal family needs to really come to terms with that. There is that. I am not discounting that. But my interest in the royal family is from a very kind of historical sort of point of view. So, the modern royal family. Let me preface this by saying, with the exception of Prince Andrew, who I think is disgusting and horrible, I don't think anyone is a bad person in the royal family. I am not picking sides on the Will and Kate versus Harry and Meghan. I wish them all the best. I don't care. And, you know, I don't have bad feelings about any of them, except Prince Andrew. But the Prince Harry memoir, I'm going to say something, and I'm going to ask you to listen to what I have to say after it so it kind of makes sense, because I don't want you to take it the wrong way. I don't think Prince Harry should have written this memoir, or this memoir shouldn't have been published now, or it shouldn't have been written now. And the reason is not because of his father becoming king and the queen dying and things are going on with that. It has nothing to do with that. Prince Harry is a very wounded person, and no one should blame him for that. I mean, he was a child when his mother was killed tragically. She's become almost, you know, she is just revered throughout the world, and she's become more of an idea than a person to him. He's lived his life in a fishbowl. He has a father who I actually believe loves him dearly, but doesn't know how, because of his own upbringing, doesn't know how to show love to his, at least to Harry, and doesn't know how to parent because he never had that. He never had an example of that given his life. Not blaming him. That is what it is. So, and Harry, as a child, grew up in a fishbowl. There's a lot. I mean, this is a wounded person. And I also know that he has started therapy, which is wonderful. I applaud that. In fact, I think everybody in the royal family, especially Prince Andrew, should go to therapy. My concern is that Prince Harry is not far enough along in his healing journey to have a wide enough lens through which to view the events of his life as he recalls them to the public. From what I have heard, I'm going to tell you what I have heard about this. I know a lot of people who have read the book. I've watched a lot of reviews about the book. There isn't a lot of responsibility taking on Harry's part, which is something that just in general I don't like about memoirs. But it doesn't seem that he ever recognizes that, yes, he had this horrible experience with his mother dying, and it's tragedy and it's horrible. No one is denying that. But there was someone in his family who can share that experience, who also has these wounds, and they may not come out in the same way. So he doesn't seem to have any compassion from what I've heard, from other people in his family. I'm not really interested in a Mommy Dearest style book of saying how awful your family is. I'm just not. I also kind of feel like, if I am correct in my suspicion that Prince Harry is not far enough along in his healing journey to be able to look at his life with a wide enough lens, I just wouldn't feel right about reading it. Now, on the other side, I want to be part of the conversation too. And I am interested in kind of, as I said, kind of what happens with the royal family. So I don't know. Am I right? Are my concerns about this book right? Should I read? Would you recommend that I read it or not? If you have read this book, what are your thoughts on it? Please let me know. So right now it's just sitting on my Libro queue. I'm not going to get to it in the immediate future because I have an audiobook going and then one queued up to go after that. But I just don't know. I just don't know if I should be reading this or if I should just give up on it. And to be fair, I probably at this point know everything that happens on it because everybody's talking about it. I've also come across a TikTok video with a clip from the audiobook that I played without context for my husband, which was hilarious. That was hilarious.
My penis was oscillating between extremely sensitive and borderline traumatized. The last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan. I'd been trying some home remedies, including one recommended by a friend. She'd urged me to apply Elizabeth Arden cream. My mum used that on her lips. You want me to put that on my todger? It works, Harry, trust me. I found a tube, and the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time. I felt as if my mother was right there in the room. Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
Just as an aside, I think Frosty Todger is a great name for a drink. So when I get back into like creating cocktails, maybe I'll create a Frosty Todger. Who knows? Anyway, I'm rambling now, so I'm going to stop this. If you have thoughts on whether, am I right? Am I on the right track with my feelings about Spare? Let me know. And let me know what you're reading this week too, because I'm always looking for recommendations. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. At the end of the video or down in the comment box below, you can see where you can follow me on social media. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.